What do, my raza? You boys coming through otra vez with another video. And today's video, we're going to talk about those 50-50 yards, or at least that's what it's called right now in the YouTube entertainment. And I'm going to tell you guys what is actually this 50-50 yards. They don't exist, man. It's not the same thing. And we have individuals either speaking about them or making their assumptions about them without even experiencing this, or without not even being in CDCR when this happened, or if some of these guys were on CDCR and were actually in one of these yardas, they're trying to make it sound better than what it is. So let me explain to you what a 50-50 yard was at one point, right? Apparently, this, when I came to prison, this yard existed. And basically it was a yard that had a certain factions, right? That were labeled not good. It was a GP yard. It was. They had maybe a faction that was considered active programming on these yards. They're still politicking, they're still doing their thing. But maybe another factions, or maybe multiple factions, were considered not good. But still, it was a GPR. And why would they be considered not good? Well, maybe they cut any communications with the Bay or whoever they needed to communicate with. Or maybe a lot of people were not wanted in certain yards, landed on these yards, and basically take over, But again, this yardas was a GP yard, period. So any kind of GP who had the same level points from different prison, from different yardas, could land on these yardas. So you, as an active individual, will already know, hey homie, if you land on that yarda, you already know what to do. Depending on your faction, right? That is going to depend for how long you're going to stay right there. Either 72 hours, either a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, I don't know. But you have a time to get off that yard. Depending where you're from, that's what it counts. Eventually, if you did what you did, you were going to get sent to another prison, to another yarda, and they're going to check your paperwork. Okay, you came from this place. Let me see for how long you stayed right here and whether you did what you had to do or you waited more than what you should. I don't know. Somebody, I don't want to find out what's going to happen, but something had to happen right there. Now, that was a 50-50 yard, man. It was basically a GPR. They housed some individuals that were not considered not good. Certain faction or multiple factions that were not considered not good. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying a couple of them. 50-50. Now, what CDCR is doing right now, man, is the non-designated or integration yards, right? I have seen both names already. It's a non-designated or integration yards. Way different. These yards are not GP. They're not. Dispensa, but they're not. Period. And I believe that CDCR scams for doing this. Why? Because it's forcing the hand of a lot of individuals to, follow their policies, their rules, and take off on one another. So basically, at this point, you're fighting for survival. Both sides, homie. Both sides. There's riots going on to this day. Right now, there's things going on right now. But again, CDCR is not going to put this on the public, right? It's not going to put this on the public. Straight up. Now, this is how this yards came to be. 2018. This idea, I'm telling you right now, I heard Hector Bravo saying that it just happened. No, homie, it didn't. Come on, you already know this didn't happen. I heard about this in 2012 that they were going to do it. And I heard this in 2016, I believe, that they were going to happen. But before it was they were gonna start with the level 4. So I was like, damn, it's gonna be all bad. There was this kind of rumors was already on the talks, straight up. So when there's rumors, that means that somebody's speaking on it. So it's not like they did something and boom, they turned everything to integrated yards. It didn't happen like that. I'm sorry. So the people already knew. If I already knew about it, if I heard about it, trust me, the CEOs knew about it, right? So it didn't happen just like that. No, it didn't happen. But when it happened in 2018, right, it was chaos. So how they did it, how they went about it, right? Because let's just be honest. If it was a yarda with nothing but GPs on me, you think dropping 5, 10, 15 SNY inmates will actually turn that yard? No, it wouldn't, homie. Why? Not because inmates want a program. No. Because everybody's going to be self-conscious of one another. Okay, shit. Okay, the whites, blacks, the Mexicans. You know what I mean? They're going to think, oh, man, like, we're supposed to take off. Everybody's self-conscious of everybody. So this is what they did, homie. So let's start with the SNY level 2s, right? So what happened, they start dropping individuals in there. They start dropping individuals on the SNY yards. So they drop the GPs. Usually they'll bring them they were bringing them from reception. Everybody from reception was going to those yards. They're not laced up like that. So some of them, they just want to program. They want to do their time and bounce. So they were getting a lot of people from reception, straight up. A lot of people from reception, they're going to those yards. You're going to be a level 2, you're going to hit those yards, guarantee. So the first big difference right here, you don't have time to stay on those yards. You're supposed to take off right there and then. There's no such thing as, I'm going to wait right here 72 hours. I'm going to wait right here a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Nah, homie, you're supposed to take off. That's the first one. Big difference. So as soon as you get out the bus, if you're active and you are still with the functions, you're going to take off, right? Not everybody takes off. I had talked about this. And those who don't take off, man, they just chill, kick back, you know. That's a first difference. Second difference, right? Again, like I said, these yards were SNY, and they're bringing actives into this yard. It was not like it was a GP, because it was a GP and they're trying to put SNY yards. It wouldn't work. So other level 2s that used to be GP, right? I saw this. They let the yard go down to a certain amount of numbers. Usually they ship all the level 2s out of there and they start putting SNYs on there. They throw SNYs first. And then eventually, that's when it comes to buses with actives. And they'll drop like 5, 6, depending what it is, right? And either if they're trying to see if they want to take the risk, they usually throw them all at once. They escort them. Of course, they have to be escorted. And usually the inmate will take off right there. Everybody walking on the line, and they jump and get off. Everybody's walking on the line, and eventually they get off on whoever's out there. That's what they do. Other institutions, what they used to do, they take them to a different level, take them to committee, and ask them, hey, homie, are you going to stay or are you going to take off or whatever? And they give them the option. Oh, I want to take off. Well, I can't stay. Well, they help them. Sometimes they fix paperwork. Sometimes they don't, depending where you are. And this is what it is. Big difference, man. Another interesting thing about this yard, there's no politicking, homie. Like on the 50-50 yard. On the 50-50 yard, you probably had one faction. They still was considered good. You know, they still was politicking. But on this SNY or non-designated or integration yards, there's no politicking. You don't see a group of individuals are here politicking on one another. You don't see that. Everybody's just doing the program. Everybody's trying to go home. And that's what it is. So, of course, there's a big difference. It doesn't have nothing to do with 50-50 yard. That label was created by inmates. It's not created by CDCR. CDCR never did a yard saying, okay, you know what, this yard is gonna be a no good yard, or it's gonna be a 50-50 yard, or it's gonna be a half active, half no good people. Nah, CDCR just put the people right there. They already knew that this yard how it was, and they make sure that whoever became a victim will go to that yard, but they never label that yard as something. Now these yards are being labeled integrated yards, non-designated yards, and this is a new move from CDCR, man, which is something crazy. And this is basically what it is. I see different individuals trying to say that this integration or not designated yards are 50-50 yards. They're not. They're not. I don't know where they came with this, but I guess because a 50-50 yard, man, they had active individuals pushing politics. Even though your faction was not doing that, maybe another faction was doing it. Maybe, maybe. But on this non-designated or integrated yard, they're not doing none of that stuff. At least what I experience. Now, are they doing it other prisons? Who knows, man? I can only tell you with what I experience, what I know, and hopefully you like this video, man. So with this being said, we are out to next video. Muchas gracias. Saludos.